It was a normal day, just like any other. People were rushing to work, kids were heading to school, and the cities buzzed with their usual chaos. The sun shone brightly in the sky, casting long shadows on the streets below. No one noticed anything, unusual at first. But then, something strange happened. A shimmer appeared high above New York City. At first, it looked like heat waves rising from hot asphalt. Some people stopped to look up, shielding their eyes from the sunlight, while others shrugged it off as nothing more than a trick of the light. But the shimmer didn't fade. Instead, it grew brighter, spreading across the sky like an invisible crack widening slowly. It started small, no bigger than a car, but within minutes, it stretched wide enough to cover several city blocks. The colors shifted too. Shades of blue, purple, and silver danced together, creating patterns that seemed almost alive. By now, crowds had gathered on the streets, pointing upward and snapping pictures with their phones. Social media exploded with questions. Was this a natural phenomenon? A secret government experiment gone wrong? Or something else? The tension in the air grew thicker as the shimmer began to take shape. What once looked like random waves of color now formed distinct outlines, sharp edges, metallic surfaces, and glowing lights. Suddenly, there was no denying what everyone was seeing. There was something massive hovering above the city, hidden behind the veil of the shimmering sky. Panic rippled through the crowd as whispers turned into shouts. "What is that?" someone yelled. Others ran for cover, fearing an explosion or collapse. Then came the sound, or rather, the absence of it. For a brief moment, everything went eerily quiet. Birds stopped chirping, cars froze mid-honk, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. And then, without warning, the sky parted. It wasn't dramatic or flashy, it simply opened up like curtains being drawn back. What lay beyond was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Gigantic ships, larger than skyscrapers, floated silently in the air. Their designs were sleek yet alien, with jagged protrusions and glowing symbols etched into their hulls. Lights blinked in rhythmic patterns, pulsating like heartbeats. They weren't moving. They were just there, suspended as if defying gravity itself. People stared in awe and terror. Cameras flashed non-stop as news helicopters circled overhead, capturing every detail. Reporters stammered over live broadcasts, struggling to find words to describe what they were witnessing. This can't be real," one anchor said, her voice trembling. Yet it was undeniable. Above them loomed an armada of alien spacecraft, silent sentinels watching humanity's every move. Military jets roared into action almost immediately. Fighter planes streaked across the sky, circling the mysterious ships cautiously. Pilots radioed back reports, describing the craft's impossible size and advanced technology. "We've never seen anything like this before," one pilot said. "They're not responding to our hails." As the military scrambled to figure out what to do next, the aliens finally made contact. A deep, guttural voice boomed from the largest ship, echoing across the entire city, and soon, the world. It spoke in broken English, each word heavy with menace. "Earthlings," it growled, "surrender your planet." The message sent shockwaves through humanity. Governments convened emergency meetings. Scientists raced to analyze the situation, and ordinary citizens braced for the worst. Fear gripped the globe, but only for a moment. Beneath the surface, something stirred. Humanity may have been caught, off guard, but it was far from defenseless. Unbeknownst to the invaders, humanity had been preparing for this day for decades. When faint radio signals hinted at extraterrestrial life years ago, governments around the world quietly pooled resources into developing advanced defense systems. Hidden beneath mountains and buried in classified documents lay Earth's greatest secret, Project Celestial Shield. This initiative included orbital star destroyers equipped with cutting-edge weapons, cloaking devices, and AI-driven navigation systems. These ships were designed not just to defend Earth, but to strike fear into any potential invaders. For years, these vessels remained dormant, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Now, as the aliens demanded surrender, humanity prepared to unveil its true strength. Deep underground bunkers, Engineers powered up the Star Destroyers. Pilots suited up, ready to face whatever came next. Military commanders exchanged grim nods, knowing the stakes couldn't be higher. Meanwhile, the aliens remained confident in their superiority. They had studied humanity for decades, observing its wars, divisions, and technological limitations. To them, Earth was ripe for conquest, a weak, disorganized species incapable of mounting significant resistance. But they underestimated one crucial thing: humanity's ability to adapt and unite when faced with a common enemy. Back on the streets, the initial panic gave way to determination. People refused to believe the end was near. "We've survived worse," muttered a man, clutching his phone tightly. His wife nodded beside him, her jaw set firmly. Across the globe, similar scenes played out. Nations put aside their differences, sharing intelligence and resources. Scientists worked around the clock, deciphering the alien language and studying their ships. Even civilians pitched in, volunteering for emergency services and organizing community shelters. And so, as the alien fleet hovered menacingly above Earth, humanity stood poised to fight back. The invaders thought they had arrived to conquer a helpless planet. What they didn't realize was that they had just awakened a sleeping giant, one that would stop at nothing to protect its home. Little did the aliens know their reign of terror was about to come crashing down. Because Earth wasn't just a planet. It was a force to be reckoned with. And soon the skies would part again, not to reveal invaders, but defenders. Humanity's finest warriors were ready to show the universe what it truly meant to mess with Earth. The alien fleet hovered ominously above Earth, their massive ships casting long shadows over cities and oceans alike. The invaders radiated an air of invincibility, assuming that humanity would crumble under the weight of their demands. But what they didn't know, what no one outside of classified military circles knew, was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Beneath the surface, hidden from prying eyes, lay Earth's greatest secret weapon, Project Celestial Shield. Deep inside a mountain bunker in Norway, engineers worked feverishly to activate the Star Destroyers. These vessels weren't just ordinary spaceships. They were marvels of human ingenuity, born out of fear but fueled by hope. Each ship was armed with plasma cannons capable of slicing through steel like butter, EMP generators designed to disable enemy electronics, and cloaking technology so advanced it could render entire fleets invisible. They had been built not only to defend Earth but also to strike back if necessary. And now necessity had arrived. As the alien transmission echoed across the globe, "Surrender your planet," humanity responded not with words, but with action. One by one, the orbital Star Destroyers emerged from their hiding places. Hidden beneath layers of camouflage and shielded by electromagnetic fields, these ships had remained undetected even by the aliens' sophisticated sensors. Now they rose gracefully into view, their sleek designs glinting in the sunlight as they positioned themselves between Earth and the alien armada. The sight sent shockwaves through both sides. On Earth, people watched in stunned silence as their defenders revealed themselves. News anchors struggled to keep up with the unfolding events. "Ladies and gentlemen," one reporter stammered, "we are witnessing something extraordinary. What you're seeing now is humanity's answer to the alien threat." Meanwhile, aboard the alien flagship, confusion reigned. The invaders stared at their monitors, unable to comprehend how such primitive beings could possess technology, rivaling, or even surpassing their own. Their arrogance faltered as they realized they were no longer dealing with a helpless species. This revelation sparked heated debates among the alien commanders. Some argued for immediate retreat, while others insisted on pressing forward. In the end, however, curiosity got the better of them. They decided to test humanity's resolve. The first shot came without warning. A small alien scout ship broke formation and fired a laser beam at one of Earth's Star Destroyers. The attack missed its mark entirely, thanks to the destroyers' advanced maneuvering systems. Instead of retaliating, the human pilot broadcasted a single message directly to the alien fleet: "You have invaded our home. Leave now, or face the consequences." The aliens hesitated. This wasn't part of their plan. They had expected chaos, panic, surrender, not defiance backed by overwhelming firepower. For a brief moment, neither side moved. The tension hung, thick in the air, stretching seconds into what felt like hours. Then slowly, deliberately, Earth's star destroyers began to advance. It was a calculated gamble. Humanity's leaders knew they couldn't afford to fire the first shot, not yet. Doing so might provoke a full-scale war, one that could devastate the planet. Instead, they opted for psychological warfare. Using hacked communication channels, human operatives intercepted the aliens' internal transmissions. What they discovered was both surprising and enlightening. The aliens weren't united, far from it. Back on their homeworld, political factions vied for control, each blaming the other for failures and missteps. The invasion of Earth was meant to be a quick victory, a way to consolidate power and silence dissent. But now, with the mission hanging in the balance, cracks began to form within the alien ranks. Commanders argued over strategy, scientists debated tactics, and soldiers questioned orders. Fear spread like wildfire among them, fueled by rumors of reinforcements being delayed or canceled altogether. Humanity seized this opportunity with ruthless efficiency. Diplomats, working alongside AI translators, crafted messages designed to exploit the aliens' fears. Fake reports were sent to the alien command, claiming that Earth's fleet was merely the tip of the iceberg, that thousands more ships were en route to join the fight. Simultaneously, the human star destroyers performed dazzling maneuvers, showcasing their superior agility and firepower without firing a single shot. The psychological pressure mounted. Alien commanders grew increasingly desperate, issuing conflicting orders that only added to the chaos. Some ships attempted to retreat, while others tried to regroup. Meanwhile, back on Earth, news of humanity's unexpected triumph spread like wildfire. Social media platforms lit up with posts celebrating the bravery of the pilots and the ingenuity of the engineers. People who had once doubted humanity's ability to stand against such a formidable foe now cheered with renewed hope. But the real turning point came when Lieutenant Ava Chen entered the fray. Ava was a decorated astronaut and one of the top pilots assigned to Project Celestial Shield. Her skills were unmatched, her reflexes lightning fast, and her determination unwavering. When she took control of her star destroyer, everyone knew the tide was about to turn. Ava's ship darted between the alien vessels, dodging lasers and missiles with ease. She used every trick in the book, and then some, to keep the aliens guessing. At one point, she executed a daring barrel roll that left two alien cruisers colliding with each other. Another time, she deployed decoy drones to draw enemy fire away from civilian areas. Each move was calculated, precise, and utterly fearless. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Spotting a vulnerability in the alien flagship's armor, Ava launched a concentrated plasma blast straight at its core. The explosion rocked the entire fleet, sending shockwaves rippling outward. Debris rained down from the sky as the flagship listed dangerously to one side. Alien commanders scrambled to regain control, but it was too late. Their leader was incapacitated, and with him went their unity. Panic erupted among the remaining ships. Some tried to flee, abandoning their comrades in the process. Others surrendered outright, broadcasting frantic pleas for mercy. Humanity's forces moved swiftly to capitalize on the advantage. Plasma bolts lit up the atmosphere as Earth's star destroyers unleashed their full might. The battle raged for hours, each side taking heavy losses. Yet, despite the destruction, humanity's resolve never wavered. Soldiers aboard the star destroyers worked tirelessly to repair damages mid-fight, while engineers on the ground developed new strategies in real time. By the time the dust settled, the outcome was clear. Humanity had won, not just the battle, but the respect of the galaxy. The surviving alien ships retreated, limping back to their homeworld with tales of Earth's unexpected strength. Back on the planet below, celebrations erupted in every corner of the globe. People poured into the streets waving flags and chanting slogans. It was a rare moment of global unity, as nations set aside differences to cheer for their shared victory. For the first time in history, humanity stood tall among the stars, not as victims, but as victors. The invaders who had once terrified, the world now trembled at the thought of facing Earth again, and as the skies closed once more, people looked up not with fear, but with pride, knowing they had stared down the unknown and emerged stronger than ever. The battle between humanity and the alien invaders had reached a critical juncture. While the physical skirmishes raged on, an equally intense war was being waged behind the scenes, a war of minds. Humanity's leaders understood that brute force alone wouldn't guarantee victory. They needed to outthink their enemies as well. What followed was a masterclass in psychological warfare, one that would leave the alien fleet fractured, confused, and ultimately defeated. As the smoke cleared from Lieutenant Ava Chen's daring attack on the alien flagship, the invaders found themselves leaderless and disoriented. Their once unified command structure crumbled into chaos. Alien commanders argued over who should take charge, scientists scrambled to assess the damage, and soldiers questioned whether continuing the fight was worth the cost. Sensing this vulnerability, humanity seized the opportunity to exploit it further. Deep within Earth's military bunkers, intelligence officers worked tirelessly to intercept and decode alien communications. Using advanced AI algorithms, they pieced together fragments of conversations, uncovering secrets about the alien society and motivations. What they discovered was both shocking and enlightening. The invaders weren't a monolithic force driven by conquest for its own sake. Instead, they were pawns of a militaristic regime back on their homeworld, a regime that thrived on fear, oppression, and endless expansion. Failure to bring Earth under their control would mean disgrace, or worse, for the commanders leading the invasion. Armed with this knowledge, humanity devised a cunning plan. Rather than launching another direct assault, they focused on sowing discord among the alien ranks. Fake reports were fabricated and transmitted directly into the invaders' communication network. These messages claimed that reinforcements were en route to Earth, but only if the current fleet retreated immediately. Other transmissions suggested that Earth's orbital star destroyers were merely the vanguard of a much larger armada, capable of wiping out entire alien fleets in minutes. To make these lies believable, Earth's pilots put on a dazzling display of aerial acrobatics. Star destroyers performed maneuvers so complex and precise that they seemed almost supernatural. Plasma bolts streaked across the sky, narrowly missing alien ships in calculated patterns designed to intimidate rather than destroy. At times, human vessels would disappear entirely, thanks to their cloaking technology, only to reappear moments later in unexpected locations. This cat-and-mouse game kept the aliens constantly on edge, unsure of where the next attack might come from or when. The psychological pressure began to take its toll. Alien commanders grew increasingly paranoid, accusing each other of incompetence and betrayal. One particularly heated argument led to a mutiny aboard a cruiser, with lower-ranking soldiers attempting to seize control from their superiors. The resulting chaos left the ship vulnerable, allowing Earth's forces to disable it with minimal effort. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the tide of public opinion shifted dramatically. News outlets broadcast live updates of the battle, highlighting humanity's ingenuity and bravery. Footage of Lieutenant Ava Chen's exploits went viral, earning her the nickname the Starblade. Social media platforms buzzed with memes and hashtags celebrating her heroics. People around the world rallied behind their defenders, donating supplies, volunteering for emergency services, and even organizing vigils for fallen soldiers. For the first time in decades, humanity felt united, not divided by borders or ideologies, but bound together by a common purpose. But perhaps the most significant impact of the psychological warfare was felt not among humans or aliens, but within the alien fleet itself. As the invaders listened to Earth's broadcasts and intercepted fake reports, doubts began to creep into their minds. Some started questioning why they were fighting at all. Why risk their lives for a regime that cared little for their well-being? Others wondered if surrendering might actually be the better option. After all, humanity had shown remarkable restraint thus far, focusing on disabling enemy ships rather than obliterating them outright. This shift in mindset became evident during a pivotal moment in the battle. An alien scout ship broke away from the main fleet and approached one of Earth's star destroyers cautiously. Its pilot transmitted a message, speaking haltingly in broken English. "We do not wish to fight. Please, let us talk." The request caught everyone off guard. Humanity's military leaders convened an emergency meeting to discuss how to proceed. Should they accept the offer of dialogue, or was this a trick, a ploy to buy time while the invaders regrouped? In the end, compassion prevailed. A team of diplomats, accompanied by AI translators, boarded a shuttle and rendezvoused with the alien vessel. What followed was a tense negotiation. The alien representative, a nervous-looking creature with multiple eyes and tentacle-like appendages, explained that many of his comrades were tired of fighting. They had been forced into service against their will and saw no honor in conquering weaker species. He pleaded for mercy, promising that those who surrendered would share vital information about their homeworld and technology. Humanity's response was measured, but firm. "We are willing to listen," said Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, the head negotiator, "but we will not tolerate aggression. If you wish to avoid further bloodshed, you must stand down and help us ensure your leaders cannot threaten us again." The alien hesitated before nodding slowly. "We understand. We will comply." Word of the agreement spread quickly through the alien fleet. Some ships immediately powered down their weapons and signaled their surrender. Others remained hesitant, torn between loyalty to their commanders and the desire for peace. But as more and more vessels joined the ceasefire, resistance crumbled. By the end of the day, the majority of the alien fleet had either fled or surrendered. Only a handful of rogue ships continued to fight, but they were quickly neutralized by Earth's forces. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted once again. People cheered not just for the victory, but for the way it had been achieved. Humanity hadn't resorted to blind vengeance. Instead, it had shown wisdom, restraint, and compassion. Even the aliens who had surrendered were treated with dignity, given medical care, and allowed to communicate with their homeworld. This act of kindness had a profound effect on the invaders. Many expressed gratitude, admitting that they had underestimated humanity's capacity for empathy. Some even volunteered to stay behind, offering their knowledge and skills to aid Earth's recovery efforts. It was a stark contrast to the cold, calculating invaders who had arrived days earlier, now transformed into allies and collaborators. As the skies closed once more, people looked up with a newfound sense of hope. The battle may have ended, but the journey was far from over. Humanity had proven itself capable of standing toe-to-toe with the greatest threats the universe could throw at it. More importantly, it had demonstrated that strength wasn't just about firepower. It was about courage, unity, and the willingness to extend a hand of peace, even to those who had once sought to destroy it. And so, as the stars twinkled above, Earth took its first steps toward a brighter future, one where it stood not just as a defender of its own home, but as a beacon of hope for the galaxy. The battle had shifted in ways no one could have predicted. What began as a terrifying invasion had turned into something far more complex, a delicate dance of power, fear, and diplomacy. Humanity's psychological warfare had fractured the alien fleet, leaving them divided and desperate. But just when it seemed like victory was within reach, disaster struck. A rogue alien ship broke formation and fired directly at Earth's largest orbital station. The attack came without warning. One moment, the skies were eerily quiet, filled only with the hum of engines and distant chatter from communications channels. The next, a searing beam of energy tore through the atmosphere, striking the orbital station with devastating force. Explosions rippled across its surface as chunks of debris tumbled toward Earth, burning up in fiery streaks. Hundreds of crew members aboard the station perished instantly, their lives extinguished in a heartbeat. For humanity, this act of aggression was unforgivable. It shattered any lingering doubts about whether the aliens could be reasoned with. Enraged and heartbroken, Earth's forces retaliated swiftly. Plasma bolts lit up the sky as Star Destroyers unleashed their full might. The once restrained battle erupted into chaos, each side determined to annihilate the other. Lieutenant Ava Chen led the charge, her Star Destroyer weaving through enemy fire with precision that bordered on supernatural. She targeted the rogue ship first, knowing it posed the greatest threat. "This ends now," she muttered under her breath, her hands gripping the controls tightly. With a burst of speed, her vessel closed the distance, launching a barrage of plasma cannons. The rogue ship tried to evade, but Ava anticipated every move. Her final shot hit its mark, piercing the ship's core and reducing it to a smoldering wreck. But the fight was far from over. Other alien ships joined the fray, firing relentlessly at Earth's defenders. The orbital station's destruction had galvanized humanity's resolve. Soldiers aboard the Star Destroyers worked tirelessly to repair damages mid-battle, patching breached hulls and rerouting power to failing systems. Engineers on the ground coordinated efforts, feeding real-time data to pilots and strategists. Every second counted and everyone knew it. Amid the chaos, an unexpected hero emerged. Captain Marcus Kane, commander of the Star Destroyer, Aegis. Known for his calm demeanor and strategic mind, Kane had been overseeing operations from Earth's command center. But when the orbital station fell, he made the bold decision to take command of the Aegis himself. "If we're going down," he declared to his crew, "we're taking them with us." Kane's leadership proved invaluable. He orchestrated a series of coordinated attacks, dividing the alien fleet and forcing them to spread thin. His flagship became a beacon of hope, rallying Earth's forces even as casualties mounted. At one point, the Aegis took heavy damage, its shields flickering dangerously close to failure. Yet Kane refused to retreat. Instead, he ordered his engineers to divert all remaining power to the plasma cannons. "One last push," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. The gamble paid off. The Aegis unleashed a torrent of energy, disabling multiple alien ships in a single strike. The invaders reeled, their formations collapsing under the relentless assault. Panic spread among the remaining vessels, some attempting to flee while others surrendered outright. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the cost of the battle became painfully clear. News outlets broadcast images of the orbital station's wreckage falling from the sky, sparking widespread grief and outrage. Families mourned loved ones lost in the attack, while survivors shared harrowing tales of escape. Yet amid the sorrow, there was also pride. Humanity had fought back against impossible odds, refusing to yield even when faced with unimaginable loss. In the heat of the battle, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez played a crucial role, realizing that continued fighting would result in catastrophic losses for both sides. She reached out to the alien commanders via intercepted communication channels. Her message was simple yet powerful. "Surrender now, and we will spare your lives. Resist, and you will face total annihilation." To reinforce her words, Earth's forces performed a show of strength, gathering their remaining Star Destroyers into a unified formation. The sight was awe-inspiring. Dozens of sleek metallic vessels glowing with pulsating lights, their weapons trained on the dwindling alien fleet. It was a clear message. Humanity wasn't bluffing. The aliens hesitated. Their ranks were decimated, their morale shattered. Many of them had already begun questioning the wisdom of the invasion. Now, with defeat staring them in the face, they saw no alternative but to stand down. One by one, the remaining ships powered down their weapons and signaled their surrender. As the dust settled, humanity took stock of the situation. The battle had been costly, thousands of lives lost, billions of dollars in damages and scars that would take years to heal. But it had also been transformative. For the first time in history, humanity had stood united against a common enemy, proving that strength lay not just in technology or numbers, but in courage and determination. Lieutenant Ava Chen returned to Earth a hero, her exploits immortalized in headlines and history books. Captain Marcus Kane received accolades for his bravery, though he remained humble, insisting that the true heroes were the countless men and women who had risked everything to protect their planet. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez earned praise for her diplomatic efforts, bridging the gap between two vastly different species and paving the way for future cooperation. Even the aliens who had surrendered found themselves treated with surprising compassion. Rather than being imprisoned or executed, they were given medical care and allowed to communicate with their homeworld. Some expressed gratitude, admitting that they had never believed humanity capable of such resilience. Others offered valuable insights into their society, revealing truths about their militaristic regime and the oppressive forces that drove them to invade Earth. These revelations sparked a movement within the alien ranks. Inspired by humanity's mercy, many defected seeking asylum on Earth. They spoke of a desire to escape the cycle of violence perpetuated by their leaders and start anew. Humanity welcomed them cautiously, recognizing the potential risks, but also the opportunities for collaboration. Together, humans and aliens forged an unprecedented alliance, vowing to protect the galaxy from future threats. The turning point of the battle marked not just the end of the conflict, but the beginning of a new era. Earth had proven itself a force to be reckoned with, one that could inspire change even in the hearts of its enemies. As the skies cleared and the stars reappeared, people looked up with a mix of pride and hope. They knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but they also knew they had faced the unknown and emerged stronger than ever. And so, as the sun rose on a battered but resilient world, humanity prepared to take its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as guardians. The battle may have ended, but the legacy of courage, unity, and compassion would endure for generations to come. The aftermath of the battle left Earth both scarred and transformed. Cities bore the marks of destruction, burnt-out buildings, shattered streets, and memorials for those who had fallen. Yet beneath the surface, something extraordinary was happening. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious, not through brute force alone, but through unity, ingenuity, and an unwavering belief in justice. Now, as the dust settled and the skies cleared, a new chapter began to unfold. In the days following the alien surrender, Earth's leaders faced a monumental decision: what to do with their defeated foes. Some argued for harsh punishment, citing the loss of life and devastation caused by the invaders. Others believed that revenge would only perpetuate the cycle of violence, urging instead for compassion and understanding. Ultimately, humanity chose a path less traveled, one of reconciliation and cooperation. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez spearheaded efforts to integrate the surrendered aliens into human society. She worked closely with scientists, linguists, and cultural experts to create programs aimed at fostering mutual respect and collaboration. Alien prisoners were treated not as enemies, but as individuals seeking redemption. Medical teams tended to their wounds, while translators helped bridge the communication gap. Slowly but surely, trust began to form between the two species. One of the most surprising developments came from the defectors, aliens who had chosen to abandon their homeworld and seek refuge on Earth. These individuals provided invaluable insights into their society, revealing the oppressive regime that had forced them into service. Their stories painted a grim picture, a militaristic government driven by fear, greed, and expansionism, willing to sacrifice countless lives in pursuit of power. These revelations sparked outrage, not just among humans, but within the ranks of the surrendered aliens themselves. Many expressed shame over their role in the invasion, vowing to make amends by aiding humanity's recovery efforts. Some even offered technical expertise, sharing knowledge about advanced alien technologies that could help rebuild Earth's damaged infrastructure. Lieutenant Ava Chen played a key role in this transition. Having earned the respect of both humans and aliens alike, she became a symbol of hope and cooperation. Her Star Destroyer, once a weapon of war, was repurposed as a mobile research lab. Scientists from both species worked side by side aboard the vessel, studying everything from energy systems to medical advancements. The project quickly became a beacon of progress, proving that collaboration could yield results far greater than either side could achieve alone. Captain Marcus Kane, meanwhile, focused on rebuilding Earth's defenses. The battle had exposed vulnerabilities that needed addressing, and Cain was determined to ensure humanity would never be caught off guard again. Under his leadership, Project Celestial Shield expanded exponentially. New orbital stations were constructed, equipped with cutting-edge sensors and early warning systems. Star destroyers underwent upgrades, incorporating alien technology to enhance their capabilities. Training programs were established to prepare future generations for interstellar threats, emphasizing not just combat skills but diplomacy and problem-solving. But perhaps the most profound change occurred on a global scale. For decades, humanity had been divided by borders, ideologies, and conflicts. The alien invasion had forced people to set aside their differences and work together toward a common goal. And now, even after the immediate threat had passed, that spirit of unity endured. Nations collaborated more closely than ever before, pooling resources and expertise to tackle challenges ranging from climate change to poverty. Leaders who had once prioritized national interests found themselves inspired to think bigger, to consider the welfare of the entire planet. The aliens' presence also sparked a cultural renaissance. Art, music, and literature flourished as humans explored themes of coexistence, resilience, and identity. Museums hosted exhibits showcasing alien artifacts, while schools introduced curriculums designed to teach students about interspecies relations. Even language evolved, with hybrid words emerging as humans and aliens learned to communicate effectively. Yet not everyone embraced this newfound era of peace. Skeptics warned of the dangers posed by integrating aliens into human society, fearing they might exploit Earth's generosity or harbor hidden agendas. Conspiracy theories spread online, fueled by misinformation and paranoia. Some governments resisted calls for transparency, reluctant to share alien technology or intelligence with their counterparts. Despite these challenges, the majority of humanity remained committed to moving forward. They understood that progress required patience and perseverance, and that mistakes would inevitably be made along the way. But they also recognized the potential rewards: a safer, stronger, and more interconnected world. As months turned into years, the alliance between humans and aliens grew stronger. Joint missions explored distant planets searching for resources and signs of other intelligent life. Trade agreements fostered economic growth, benefiting both species. Scientific breakthroughs accelerated at an unprecedented rate, improving quality of life for millions. Back on Earth, monuments were erected to honor those who had fought and died during the battle. At the center of each memorial stood a plaque bearing a simple yet powerful message: we stood together, we fought together, we will build a better future together. For Lieutenant Ava Chen, Captain Marcus Kane, and Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, the journey was far from over. Each had played a vital role in shaping the outcome of the conflict, and each continued to contribute in meaningful ways. Ava dedicated herself to mentoring young pilots, instilling in them the values of courage and integrity. Marcus worked tirelessly to strengthen Earth's defenses, ensuring that humanity would always be prepared for whatever lay ahead. And Elena traveled the globe, advocating for peace and cooperation wherever she went. The aliens, too, found purpose in their new lives. Defectors became teachers, engineers, and diplomats, using their skills to aid humanity's resurgence. Those who chose to return to their homeworld carried with them lessons of compassion and unity, hoping to inspire change within their own society. And so, as Earth entered this new dawn, it did so with hope and determination. The scars of the past served as reminders of how far humanity had come and how much further it still had to go. The stars above no longer seemed distant or intimidating. They represented possibilities, opportunities, and dreams waiting to be realized. Humanity had stared into the abyss and refused to blink. It had faced terror and triumphed, hatred and chosen love, despair and found hope. In doing so, it had proven itself worthy not just of survival, but of greatness. As children gazed up at the night sky, pointing out constellations and imagining adventures beyond the horizon, they did so with pride. Earth was no longer a vulnerable blue dot in the cosmos. It was a shining beacon of resilience, strength, and unity. And though challenges undoubtedly lay ahead, humanity knew one thing for certain: together they could overcome anything.